New age restrictions on restaurants, the issue with reservations and split hotel stays, and the time you actually need to get in line for a virtual queue. Okay, so today's video isn't just about the real dining rules around Disney, it's also about the new DFB rules that we've been eager to tell you about but haven't gotten the chance to share until now. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now, I know a video about Disney rules, especially new rules, can be intimidating, but I promise today's video will accomplish 3 things. 1, you're going to learn something about Disney dining that you weren't aware of before. 2, you're going to get a better idea of what new and classic Disney restaurants expect from their guests before you step over the threshold. And 3, you're going to find out some new DFB rules that we think you should also incorporate into your future restaurant plans because, we're in the parks every single day and there are some things we definitely stick by to make dining around property 10 times better. So this rule has some major updates due to some new restaurants and just some new age limits. Some restaurants are for adults only in Disney World. This rule wasn't as big of a deal for you to remember before, but this year it's going to be crucial for you to know from here on out. Select few, and I mean very select few, restaurants around Disney property have age restrictions now, like the ultra fancy restaurants, for instance. Before, Victoria and Albert's over at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa was the only quadruple dollar sign dining experience on Disney World property that had an age restriction. The dining room here is still only for guests ages 10 years old and up, though I can't imagine a 10-year-old getting a whole lot out of this multi-hour, multi-course experience unless they're really obsessed with the culinary arts, which could be the case. I don't know your kid, but I know my kid at age 10 was much more into hot dogs and McDonald's. Anyway, before other ultra fancy signature dining experiences like Epcot's Kumite and Monsieur Paul didn't have age restrictions, but in recent years, things have changed. Now, guests must be 10 years or older to dine at Monsieur Paul in Epcot and 8 years or older to dine at Kumite. And since we're already in Epcot, let's talk about the newest dining and drinking experience entering the scene that has an even stricter age limit to keep in mind. GO82 is Epcot's newest bar and lounge, opening on June 4th, 2025, though you can make reservations for it right now on the Disney World website. This new location is themed around the ever-so-iconic Spaceship Earth and features scenic views and innovative cocktails, unique small plates, and even a brand new fireworks experience where you can watch Luminous the Symphony of Us from inside the lounge. Note that you're going to have to book the GO82 fireworks experience separately. But whether you want to go to the fireworks viewing or you just want to take a sip and gander around GO82, you must be at least 21 years old to enter this establishment. So this could be a good date night option, bachelorette party location, or just a fun Epcot outing with your fellow adult friends. But if you've got kids with you, you're not going to be able to enter this lounge. Other locations around Disney may also have different age restrictions, like how Trader Sam's Grog Grotto is for guests 21 and older after 8 p.m. But I'd say like 98% of Disney's restaurants, even lounges and bars, are typically made for the whole family to enjoy. You just need to double check each restaurant's and lounge's website to make sure you know the finer details before you book it. Our DFB rule that we live by: book the new, hard-to-get restaurants first. So along with the opening of GO82, there's another lounge that's also more than likely going to require advanced dining reservations opening later on this year. This is the Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge called Beacon Barrel inside Magic Kingdom's Adventureland. It's going to be family friendly, so no age restrictions to worry about with this one. But if we've learned one thing about Disney World restaurants over the years, it's this: you've got to book those reservations as early as possible if you plan to hit up a restaurant or lounge shortly after its big debut. We've seen it time and again. When Shiki Sai Sushi Izakaya in Epcot opened back in August 2023, booked up solid. When Summer House on the Lake in Disney Springs opened back in 2023, booked up solid. When Cake Bake Shop opened in Disney's Boardwalk Inn back in October 2024, booked. So now it's time for all of you to follow the golden DFB rule. The new restaurants that you want to drink and dine at need to take priority when you're booking advanced dining reservations for your trip. Don't just book reservations in chronological order if you can help it. Instead, see which locations are going to have the highest demand and snag your table while you can, if you can. For example, let's say I'm going on a 3-day trip and planning to eat at Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom on day 1, Yak and Yeti and Animal Kingdom on day 2, and Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Hollywood Studios on day 3. Even though Roundup Rodeo Barbecue has been open since March 2023, it's still one of the newest restaurants as of right now across the park, so reservations continue to book up relatively quickly. Instead of booking your Skip or Canteen reservations first, simply because it's the first restaurant you're going to be dining at on your trip, you'll want to skip ahead and book the reservation for Roundup Rodeo Barbecue as soon as you're able to at that 60-day window at 6 a.m. Then you can backtrack and book the remainder of your Disney table services that are a little less in demand. Keep in mind that this strategy only works if you're staying at a Disney-owned hotel during your visit. For those staying off property, dining reservations are going to open up 60 days before your visit, and you're only going to be able to make reservations one day at a time. But if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you'll have a 60-day window plus up to 10 days worth of reservations, depending on how long your hotel stay is, that you can also go ahead and book to help you cover your whole trip's timeline with just one phone call or website session. Use those extra days to your advantage. Whether you're staying on property or not, remember that advanced dining reservations go live at 6 a.m. Eastern online and 7 a.m. Eastern via phone. So if you want the best chance of getting those prime reservation spots, try to go the online route over the phone route to give an hour head start over those who are dialing in. Now, this is a super interesting rule that we just had experience with very recently. Again, this is why we make all the mistakes so that you don't have to. Split stays are going to mess up your extra 10-day booking window. So Disney won't outright admit that they're going to mess up your dining reservations depending on your upcoming hotel stay, but this is something that one of our DFB editors recently experienced firsthand on her last Disney World visit with her family. First, let me give you a quick recap on split hotel stays. It's a pretty straightforward concept. You stay at one Disney hotel for a couple of days, then you jump to another Disney hotel on the last leg of your trip, so you can try out a different resort while you're in the area. Lots of families like to do this when they're curious about checking out a deluxe Disney resort, but they don't necessarily want to spend the money on a deluxe for the entire trip. Our editor did something similar. She booked reservations for a suite over at Disney's Saratoga Springs for the first night of her Disney stay, and then booked another hotel room at All Star Music for the remaining 6 days of her trip. So here's where things got a little fishy. When our editor was 60 days out from her trip, she logged onto the Disney World website right at 5:45 a.m., because sometimes reservations drop a little earlier online, which is something you should keep in mind too, and noticed that she was only able to book 1 day's worth of reservations. Weird, right? After all, she had 7 days worth of Disney hotel rooms. So shouldn't she have been able to access an advanced dining reservation window that was 60 days out, plus an extra 7 days covering her whole visit? Turns out when you book a split stay, regardless of whether both of your hotel reservations are on the same account, for some reason Disney's ADRs don't recognize the full duration of your stay on property. Our editor called Disney's reservation hotline once 7 a.m. rolled around just to see if there was a glitch in the system, but after being placed on hold for 25 minutes, she was eventually told that nope, this is just how the split hotel system works when it comes to dining reservations. So our editor made her first round of ADRs for that 1 day she was staying at Saratoga Springs, and then she had to wake up early the next day to finish making her reservations for the other 6 days when she was at All Star Music. So here's the moral in all of this. Split stays can be a great way to check out different Disney hotels during your visit, and they can also be a great way to get 2 free tickets to water parks while Disney's doing the free water park ticket on your check-in day. But just beware that they won't allow you to make advanced dining reservations for the full duration of your stay on property. They're only going to let you make reservations for that one specific hotel stay, and then when the first day of your next hotel stay rolls around, that's when you're going to be able to make reservations for that hotel stay. I hope that makes sense. I know, it's confusing. This next rule is much easier. Don't ignore the classics. Now, if it weren't for my DFB team, I'd never be able to catch up with all the new dining stuff constantly happening around the Disney World scene. It's a beast of an undertaking, y'all, and if you don't believe me, just ask all of our DFB guidebook writers and editors, because we all have to team up and work together to make sure those chapters for our guides are all nice and shiny and updated for everyone who wants to pick up the latest guide, which, by the way, you can do over on dfbstore.com. We even have Disney dining terminology in there because we're basically the Duolingo of Disney dining, which you know if you have the guide and you scroll to page 16. Anyway, when working on this video, I asked one of our guidebook team editors, Lisa, about what she would consider to be a good DFB rule to shout out today, since she spent so much time scouring through the digital pages of our guide. And what she said was, well, you can probably already guess by the title at this point, don't ignore the classics. Now, even though Disney is so creative and comes out with hundreds of new snacks and treats every year, Lisa pointed out that the classics still shine as brightly as ever, and I 100% agree with her. Like the No Way Jose Sundae at Beaches and Cream, for instance, which you're going to find over at Beach Club Resort, or the house-made mac and cheese from Gasparilla Island Grill at the Grand Floridian Resort. I haven't had that in way too long. That's a good reminder. I'm going to write that down right now on a Post-it note. Gasparilla mac and cheese. Okay, I need to go get that on my next trip. And of course, my carrot cake cookie from Trolley Car Cafe in Hollywood Studios. I have had that one recently, so I'm not going to write it on my post-it. But these are all snack items that we have loved for years now, and they still deliver, even after all this time. Well, you need to let the carrot cake cookie warm up for a little bit before you eat it, because it can get kind of gummy in the middle if you eat it cold. But anyway, don't be automatically dazzled by a fancy new treat simply because it's new. Easy to ignore those Disney snacks that have been on the menus for 5 or 6 or 10 or more years, but the classics are classics for a reason, and we want to make sure you don't forget that. So if you're not sure which snacks are DFB's top classic recommendations, or if you think you've got a good idea, but you just want to make sure you're right on the money, we do have our full DFB guide with all our favorite Disney World snacks that you can turn to. But we've also got a free snack guide that'll give you a snippet of 10 classic snacks that we love in each park, as well as a free snack map to go along with them that's going to help you track these down during your park day. So you can download the free Best Snack Guide by scanning the QR code you see on the screen now, or clicking the link on the description that says disneyfoodblog.com/bestsnacks. But if you want our full list of snack recommendations, head over to dfbstore.com and get our guide. So free list of snacks in each park and snack map, or go ahead and get the full list of all of our favorite snacks over at dfbstore.com. Or you can do both. That's cool. I'm perfectly happy with you doing both. Next restaurant rule we really want you to pay attention to is cancellation policies. Okay, Disney's changed their table service dining cancellation policy multiple times over the past few years. So if you haven't been to Disney in a while, this is the good one to pay attention to. So the rule of thumb nowadays for most table service restaurants is that your dining reservation can be canceled up to 2 hours before the time you're supposed to dine with no charge or penalty. If you're trying to cancel a reservation with less than 2 hours to spare, or you're a complete no-show to your reservation, you're going to be charged $10 per person. However, a select number of restaurants have different cancellation policies and no-show fees, of course, because why would it be easy? I'll go ahead and post them on the screen for you, so pause if you need a little extra time to review. You don't want to listen to me go through all of these with my blah blah, right? So what's the common thread with all of these cancellation policy exceptions? These are probably going to be your priciest dining experiences that usually ask you to pay the full price for your meal ahead of your visit. So you want to be extra sure you're getting those advanced dining reservations canceled if you need to, just as soon as you can if you want to avoid being charged way more than $10 per person for a no-show fee, or even worse, if you want to avoid getting charged the full amount for the experience without getting the chance to do it. If you're on your way to the restaurant but you're running behind, I always recommend calling the restaurant, again, if you can, as soon as possible to let them know you're on your way. Disney's restaurants usually give you a 15 to 20 minute grace period if you're not at the restaurant right on time, but there's a good chance that the restaurant's going to have to charge you and give up your table to the next group if you're running any later than that. And that's not a lie, my friends. That has happened to me. So they need to give that table away. They're not going to hold that for you. Another new DFB rule for you, use the walk-up bar seating to get the best burgers in Disney World. Now, confession, I'm not the biggest fan of most Disney burgers. They're not like the worst thing ever, but a lot of them are overdone. They're like hockey pucks, and I'm talking about the ones like at the counter service restaurants in the parks, right? I don't trust those burgers. But back in 2021, Steakhouse 71 over at Contemporary Resort came into my life and introduced me to that ultra cheesy stack burger. And then just a few months ago, Wailulu Bar and Grill over at the new Disney Vacation Club Island Tower for Disney Polynesian Village Resort introduced me to the slightly sweet and slightly spicy Wayfinder burger. That's when I realized I used to hate on Disney burgers, but now 2 of my favorite things to eat on Disney property are, ironically enough, these 2 burgers. Normally, you need to book advanced dining reservations for the Steakhouse 71 dining room. And over at Wailulu, even though tables are all first come, first serve, you might end up waiting hours for a table to open up, especially if there are already other guests vulturing the area waiting for a table too. This is where each location's bar seating is going to put you at an advantage. You don't need a reservation for the Steakhouse 71 bar or even lounge area, so you can find open seating, you can sit down and order drinks, as well as a limited number of food items, which yes, includes the stack burger all day long, thank goodness, because that's what I wanted anyways. Meanwhile, the Wailulu bar seating works similarly to its table seating. You just grab what you can find. However, bar seating tends to be much easier to snag than a table here, and could save you hours worth of just waiting around, hoping to get your hands hands on a juicy Wayfinder burger. And if the bar for either location isn't going to work for you, there's always plan C. Use either location's table service to-go option featured on your My Disney Experience app. A limited number of Disney's resort table services have mobile carryout options, including Wailulu and Steakhouse 71. So while you may not be able to enjoy your meal at the restaurant itself, you can still take your burger, I don't know, out to the beach or whatever, and have a little picnic, or take it back to your room and watch golf while you eat it. That's what I do. I don't know why, but I always watch golf when I'm in Disney hotel rooms. Now, the highly controversial red dye number 3 is being banned from all foods and drinks in the United States, and that goes for the snacks found around Disney World too. Food and drink manufacturers have until 2027 to find an alternative to the food coloring additive, so we got a new rule. This particular food dye has been banned from Disney World. So how many snacks is that going to impact? Well, just at the Main Street Confectionery in Magic Kingdom alone, there are actually quite a few prepackaged candies that contain red dye number 3. Many of the giant lollipops and taffies and flavored popcorn mixes and rock candy sticks and Mickey cupcakes that have the fire truck red frosting all have it. But thankfully not the sour cherry balls. Hallelujah, Bria and I are very, very pleased. So what's going to happen to all the snacks that do have that red dye? Are they just going to up and disappear from the park? Well, Disney does have until 2027 to either get rid of these products altogether or change the formulation. And we're assuming it's going to be the latter, because if you can make that bright red color for the sour cherry balls without the use of that red dye, then surely they can do the same for the other snacks too, but we're going to have to wait and see. If red dye number 3 is something you're concerned about, make sure to check those ingredients lists on each product before you buy them. And in case you're wondering, we're also happy to report that Disney's candy apples, Rice Krispies, M&Ms, and Skittles do not contain red dye number 3, so those snacks are not going to be affected by the ban either. Okay, don't book multiple meals in the same time frame. This is something Disney does not want you doing, and we here at DFB have strong feelings about it too. If you're having trouble deciding what table service restaurant you want to eat at on certain days, I know it is very, very tempting to just book a whole bunch of reservations so you can decide when you get to Disney World which one you would rather eat at. But this can be super problematic for multiple reasons, so try not to hoard table service reservations at the same time. For example, if you're going to Epcot, a place that has lots of Disney restaurants, and you can't decide if you want to go to GO82 or Space 220 or Garden Grill, don't try to make reservations for all 3 at noon on the same day. I know I don't have to tell you this because you too want to make sure that as many folks as possible have access to dining reservations, and you don't want to become the pack rat of the ADR world. But in a hypothetical situation where things go topsy-turvy and you decide that, yeah, you do want to try to become an ADR pack rat, weird goals, but whatevs, not only is this really mean strategy going to take reservations away from other guests, but Disney's not even going to let you go through with holding all those in the end. Depending on the restaurant, they're going to either boot you out of those reservations, or they're going to straight up not even allow you to do it. And if someone were to try and game the ADR system by booking multiple meals at the same time under different accounts just to save them in case you want them, or even without logging into a Disney account, well, just don't do that. It's not cool. Just be cool. Again, I know you wouldn't do that. That's why we're all friends here, but thought I'd throw it out into the universe regardless that Disney is not going to let you book multiple reservations at the same time on your account. And if you try to game the system, it's just, again, just be cool. I love this next one because it is very, very hard to do, and I want to make sure as many people as possible get the chance to do it, and that is join the Gideon's queue in time for Hot Cookie Hour. This is a very under-the-radar, deep-cut rule for restaurants in Disney World, but a lot of people don't know about it, so a lot of people get real sad. One of our favorite places to grab dessert in Disney Springs is Gideon's Bakehouse. That's located in the Landing District, and you all know this. We love Gideon's, but Gideon serves up half-pound cookies, cake slices, specialty coffees, and while Gideon's baked goods are amazing to chow down on at any time, there are 2 special hours offered daily that are going to elevate your experience. And they are called Hot Cookie Hour. Runs from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can get a gooey, warm, straight from the oven chocolate chip cookie topped with local artisan ice cream. But hitting up Hot Cookie Hour isn't as easy as just getting in line and walking on into the building. Gideon's racks up those long lines and also sometimes sometimes uses a virtual queue so that the line doesn't basically snake all around Disney Springs. And if that queue doesn't have you returning until after hot cookie hour is over, well, you'll still get a cookie, but you're not going to get a hot cookie and you're not going to get the scoop of vanilla ice cream to keep it company. So here are some important tips to help you improve your chances of gracing the Gideon's building when the clock strikes ice cream o'clock. Tip number 1, as soon as you arrive at Disney Springs, check out Gideon's virtual queue situation. Gideon's going to open at 10 a.m. each day, and that's typically when you'll see the shortest lines for the bakery. However, the line at 10 a.m. isn't going to get you a hot cookie. Instead, you're probably better off getting the virtual queue around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. In order to join the virtual queue, you'll have to visit the Bakehouse in person, where a Gideon's employee will add you to the walk-up wait list. When it's your turn to visit the bakery, you'll get a text message telling you to come on back, which brings me to my next point. Tip number 2, tell the Gideon's employee out front that you're trying to time your visit to align with hot cookie hour. While they may not be able to give you an exact estimated time you should return or be in line by, they can help you figure out the best plan based on the crowds and demand that they've already been seeing that day. And tip number 3, do not show up right at the start or during hot cookie hour. Depending on the Disney Springs crowds, virtual queues for Gideon's can be up to 3 hours long. So you don't want to wait until the last minute to join if hot cookie hour is important to you, like it is to me. Back in the day, Disney World had a handful of restaurants that stay open 24/7 for late, really late diners. But ever since the 2020 closures, all the Disney restaurants stick with a lot stricter hours nowadays. So that means no more going to Gasparilla Island Grill, Captain Cook's, or Peekaboo, RIP, to get your 2 a.m., nosh. But that doesn't mean you're not going to find any late night places to grab a bite inside the Disney bubble. Many of the Disney resorts have food courts that stay open late until 11 p.m. But if you're looking for a more relaxed atmosphere, check out your hotel lounges to enjoy light bites and beverages, because usually these are going to stay open till 11 p.m. as well. But if you'd like something a bit quicker than a lounge, don't sleep on the grab-and-go counters at the Disney hotels. Much like the other 2 options, these are also typically open until 11, and they're stocked with snacks and beverages and prepackaged meals. But if you need a wider variety of dining options beyond what your hotel offers, Disney Springs has a ton of restaurants and shops that typically stay open till 11 as well. Now, if you are really, really strapped for a 24/7 place to grab a 2 a.m. dinner without leaving the Disney bubble, the McDonald's that's located close to the All-Star Resorts right on Disney World property can still hook you up with a McChicken and fries any time of the day or night. Plus, you can always rely on the Speedway gas stations around Disney. Those are open 24/7, and you can get some of my very sad ham and cheese sandwiches if you want to eat those on your hotel bed at night like I do. This might be the most important DFB dining rule of them all. If you want to try something new and adventurous, then go for it. If you want to get the same old things you got last time, go for it. And if you want to save money at a table service restaurant by just ordering an appetizer, or you want to split a meal with your partner, go for it on one condition. Tip your server as though you got a full meal, please. Other than that, when it comes to dining, you do you. It's 100% A-okay to not be trying the newest novelty item at the newest restaurant. Nope, you will not be catching us ordering that $300 sushi boat at Shiki Sai every single time we're in Epcot. That's insane. Now, even as someone who does Disney food reviews for a living, when I get a chance to just explore the parks and eat around them for fun, I frequently find myself backtracking to the old reliable stomping grounds, like getting a basket of chicken tenders at Backlot Express or a full pizza pie over at Via Napoli with my friends. Is it the most exciting and flashy food? No, but it's what's going to make me and my taste buds the most happy at any moment in time. Disney World rules are the hot topic of the internet right now, so if you want to learn even more about them, we got lots more videos where you can hear all about the latest Disney World rules. Check out Disney's new hotel rules. That might help you out if you're staying at a hotel sometime soon, or if you'd rather learn about the bizarre rules that Disney cast members are required to follow, you can check out that video too. Yep, you can watch both. There's no rules about that. And don't forget to pick up our free Best Disney World Snack Guide over at disneyfoodblog.com/best snacks. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.